Welcome to Mixer World, your gateway to the fascinating world of mixers and innovation. I am your co-host, Manaswi, and today we are going to introduce you to this hybrid media platform that's taking the global innovation community by storm. So let's dive right in. Let me just quickly share my screen. Yeah, is my screen visible?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Mixer World or Mixer across the world is more than just an event. It is a dynamic, immersive platform that's redefining the way we experience innovation. Here we bring together innovators, investors, and ecosystem enablers from across the globe to celebrate the world of mixers in all its diversity. Our unique blend of physical events and online accessibility means you can be a part of Mixer world no matter where you are. It's all about creating opportunities, sparkling ideas, and fostering collaborations in the world of mixers. But how can you engage with us? Let's find out. So, first and foremost, if you want to engage with us on Mixer World, visit our website at mxr.world. There you will find information about upcoming events, innovation showcases, and a thriving community of mixer enthusiasts. On our website, you can easily explore different areas of interest, whether you are an innovator looking for inspiration, or an investor searching for promising projects, or an ecosystem enabler wanting to provide support and mentorship. We also conduct focus group sessions on topics specific to your domain. So reach out to us in case you need a focus group discussion tailored to your requirements. I'll be sharing the links for them in the chat post this. And let's talk about how you can choose the areas where you need help with. So basically, you can first scan this QR code to engage with us, and then you will be able to enter your email address, and then you will be able to share your inputs. So here, in case you want help, if you want to participate in the mixer as a speaker, you can choose a speaking slot. If you want a focus group discussion, you can choose the focus discussion tab, or if you are a student and want to share your talents, or if you want help with the GTM. So I'll just wait for a minute while you can take the time to scan this QR code and start sharing your inputs. Yeah. So to stay updated on the latest happenings and to register for upcoming events, visit our website and again keep an eye on our event schedule, where we are committed to bring you the most exciting and valuable experience in the world of Mixer. I'll make sure that I'll share the links in the chat. And again, the next thing now, I would like to also talk about the upcoming events which are going to happen. So one is Your Stories Tech Spark and one is UX India 2023. So if you want to get a glimpse of what exactly these events are, you can also check our website past events on our website, where you will get the whole access to a live video. So thank you everyone for bearing with me, and hope you have an extraordinary experience at the Mixer Enterprise Digital Transformation today. And now I'd like to hand over the call to someone who has been a vital part of the Mixer World's journey, Dr. Madan Mohan Rao, co-founder of Mixer World, research director at Your Story, and much more. Over to you, Madan.
Thanks, Manaswi, and hi everyone. Welcome to our Enterprise Digital Transformation Mixer. As you all know, government is a big part of any digital economy, and I want to invite our hosts to welcome us now. Let me invite Lakshant K from the Startups and Innovation team at KDM to make a few welcoming remarks. KDM is the Karnataka Digital Economy Mission, and we're here at their very lavish, very well-equipped office here to discuss what's happening in the knowledge economy. Lakshant, over to you.
First of all, very warm welcome to all the present here. So I'm Lakshant. I represent Startups and Innovation Vertical here at Karnataka Digital Economy Mission. Just a brief on what KDM is and what we do. So we're a Section 8 not-for-profit organization designed to act as a bridge between the government and industry. So basically, we are a product of a near equal participation with the government and the industry, where 49% of the company is owned by the government and 51% by the industry leaders. You can say NASCOM, ASSOCHAM, and IESC. So basically, this was done to make industry leaders the driving force behind us. And what we do at KDM, we have 5 verticals. Firstly, software products and services, which also includes global capability centers. Secondly, ESDM, electronic system designs and manufacturing. Thirdly, startups and innovation, which I belong to. And fourthly, we have the Beyond Bangalore initiative, where our main aim is to create multiple Bangalore-like vibrant startup ecosystems outside Bangalore. And we have a talent aggregator vertical as well. So we're absolutely excited to host MXR here, and we look forward to a productive discussion. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Lakshman. KTEM has been very instrumental in supporting the digital economy of the state. In fact, one of the flagship events is coming up at the end of November, and that's the Bangalore Technology Summit. It's one of India's top events for the whole digital industry to come together and see what's happening with enterprise digital transformation, what's happening with startups and innovation, and so on. So once again, that's November 29th to December 1st in Bangalore, the Bangalore Tech Summit. So that's another big mega event which you should all try to attend. Today's event is part of what's called the Bangalore K community. This was founded about 20 years ago. It's a group of professionals who are involved in the field of knowledge management. And today we are here as part of KM Week. So we are one of the 12 events worldwide put together for Knowledge Management Week. And let me share with you the list of the other countries who are in this. This is a post by Moria Levy. Moria Levy is one of the organizers of the Knowledge Management Global Network. I hope she's online. If not, Moria, thanks so much for putting together this whole series of events. As you can see, Bangalore is one of the top 12 cities in the world for this event. We have other events happening in Austria, Bangladesh, Brazil, Botswana, India, Netherlands, Namibia, Singapore, Slovenia, South Africa, Spain, and the UK. So all of us are very honored and privileged to be in this event, and we hope we have a lot of attendees from around the world joining us today. So my name is Madan. I host this event, and I've also written a bunch of books on knowledge management and enterprise digital transformation. I'll share this slide with you later on. We have a whole bunch of free resources online. You can read about knowledge management and digital transformation. A number of articles about the Bangalore K community have been published online. Bangalore is also the home of the CII Global Knowledge Summit, and you can see the list of all the speakers over the past, I guess, 15 to 17 years. I mentioned KM Global Network. Those of you who are not aware of this, this is a network of people in about, I think, 20, 25 countries now, who are in the field of knowledge management, enterprise digital transformation, and so on. We also have, as my colleague Mansfi mentioned earlier, on the MXR.world website, more than 125 pitch decks of startups in the space of KM, enterprise tech, and AI. As you all know, digital transformation is just one of the areas of knowledge management. There's also culture, people, strategy, leadership, etc., which are a part of the knowledge management ecosystem. And you're going to hear this in some of the case studies. How to integrate digital in a company, how to create the right kinds of management and leadership strategies. So as you all know, today we are in a very interesting space in Bangalore. Bangalore is one of the global tech hubs of the world. It's also one of the startup hubs of the world, and also has one of the top 5 pools of AI talent in the world. So we're seeing 3 very interesting kinds of practices coming together. One is startups doing different kinds of innovative practices. Then you have some of the big companies experimenting and pushing the frontiers of technology. And finally, how different companies come together to collaborate in this space. The broader ecosystem includes lawyers, and we've got one lawyer in our panel here today, and you also hear from academia, from government spin-offs, from IP management companies, and so on. So to sum up, 3 big key trends in the space of KM are people. We are now in the post-pandemic space. We also are in an era of massive global conflict. Who would have ever thought that 2 wars would break out in the last 2 years just after the pandemic? So more than ever, people's morale, cultural cohesion matters more than ever before. We also are in an era of massive business model disruption. It's not just technology, but business models that are completely being transformed by startups and by cloud and Gen AI and so on. And last but not least is technology, of course, how to integrate everything from AI to blockchain to connected technologies and so on and so forth. So for the flow of today, the agenda for today is we're going to begin with what's new in this space, what's new in the area of digital transformation. We're going to begin with pitches by startups. We're going to then follow up with some enterprise case studies, how a big company is looking at digital technologies, how can startups work with these big technologies, and how can the broader ecosystem, government, lawyers, etc., come together and build the whole knowledge economy, not just for individual organizations, but for all of society, etc. We also have special events. We can talk about this later. This kind of a forum that you're attending right now, we also bring in-house into big companies to see how you can engage with startups and increase your knowledge quotient within the company. So in sum, this is who we are, MXR.world. We combine physical events like this. There's a nice small group of people here in this room, and we also have a whole bunch of people online. And then we publish all these pitch decks online to build a community of knowledge organizations. So with that, let me wrap up my session over here, and let's come back to our pitches now. So as mentioned, we're going to begin with 5 very interesting startups who are pushing the boundaries of digital technology. Let me invite Nilima to be the first speaker. Nilima Fobugari is the founder of testaing.com, one of the first startups in the world working in the area of ethics and AI in this space. So Nilima, over to you.
Thank you, Madan, and thank you all for your valuable time. I'm Nilima Vopugari, co-founder of AI Ensures.
Can you speak a bit?
Louder, okay. Thank you. Thanks for the feedback. Thanks for your time, gentlemen here. Today is a wonderful day where I've got an opportunity to speak in front of you. And I wanted to tell you, if you see the AI world, the market in 2030 of AI alone is something around $2 trillion. So the market size is huge. It's not just the market size. There are more than 1,000 AI startups across the globe who are working to come up with magical AI products. But do we see them happening every other day? Not really. It's only one or two, right? Few of them. The reason being that they fail. There is a stark difference between the amazing and excellent in-house AI product performance to what is deployed, the deployed failures, AI product failures when they are deployed. And we realize that the reason behind this is because of the quality of the data. Here comes AI Ensure, where it ensures that there is a smooth transition between the in-house environment to the real-time world, wherein the AI product would work as good as it would have worked in your in-house. And how do we do that? We try to make sure that our product makes sure that the product of yours undergoes the process of AI Ensure and comes up with the data which your product would fail. For that, what do? We use generative AI to come up with targeted, relevant data. We also use many other technologies like metamorphic testing and others, but I'll explain you more in detail in the next slide. If you see, these are some of the popularly known examples. One of them being the Uber driverless car hitting a woman to death. It's an accident by an AI, right? And there being a bias against women by Amazon hiring tool. And there are a couple of others. But in reality, if you go to incidents database, you see plenty of AI accidents happening. And the reason is because they are not validated well. So we have come up with our AI Ensure product, which not only improves the accuracy, but it enhances the security and privacy, taking bias, fairness, assurance. All these factors are vital part in your AI governance. And how do we do that? We have an operation, I'll explain. We take the data and the model. Model is your AI product, and AI Ensure works on that using generative AI, where we come up with relevant targeted data, comes up with the data on which your product would fail. But the end result is we also come up with a quality dashboard, which helps understand the coverage, the reliability, and the performance of your AI product also. And if you see, end of the day, your product is fair, secure, has model privacy and explainability also inbuilt. This, as I was saying about data visualization, incident database, right? This is a spatial view of it where multiple accidents are shown, and we are focusing on the automobile segment, finance sector, and healthcare sector. We have won multiple awards. CI award is one of the prominent one, BCIC, and we are one of the top AI companies across the globe to be selected by UN. And we have channel partnership with Infosys, Hexaware. We have recently incubated by NVIDIA. These are the partners, and our founding team is this. Vipul Kochar is the CEO, who is the ISTQB president. Dr. Srinivas Padmanabhani is the CTO, who is a thought leader, who has read multiple patents and a PhD in AI. Yours truly, Nilima. Vinay is the sales representative. Ramit is the head of testing. And these are the multiple revenue stream. And these are the operational KPIs. And this is the way we handle our GTM strategy. Because there are multiple AI companies, right? Even an MNC can have AI product where the team size would be big. So we have come up with a license-based product, and this is our GTM strategy. For it to undergo well, we have had partnerships with companies in Norway, Germany, Denmark, US is in the process, and of course, India too. And if you have to talk about competitors, Data Robot, Deep Checks are the two prominent competitors, but again, they are not fully focused on the AI governance. There are multiple factors there in AI governance too. But yes, these features are similar to ours. And this is our revenue model. This is the ask. 5 crores is what we're asking. Our fund allocation is something like this. Thanks for giving this opportunity. I had to update it within the short duration.
No worries. Thanks, Nirmal. Thanks so much. It's a very impressive list of partners that you have. And in such a short time, we'll have a panel discussion afterwards. Let's go to our next pitch now. Do we have Bhushan on there? Bhushan, are you there? Bhushan Muthian, CEO of Automaton.ai.
Yes. Hey, thank you so much, Madan. I'm here only.
Great. You can put on a video now. Let's see who you are. Oh, fantastic. Great. And
Yeah.
sharing rights, we'll give you sharing rights. Sai, he's got sharing rights? Yeah. But Bhushan, over to you. You've got time.
Okay, so I'll share my deck. Just can everyone see my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Great. So hello everyone, I'm Bhushan Muthian. I'm founder and CEO of Automaton AI. Automaton AI, we are a full stack AI, ML and Gen AI platform. So anything and everything related to deep learning is basically what we are working on unstructured data. So all the way from your labeling till training, deployment and optimization, everything is being managed into one single platform. The problem statement that we are trying to solve here is basically in terms of deep learning, there is a big hurdle in terms of like developing the deep learning models. Like when we say deep learning models is basically models that are being working on images, videos, audio, text, right? So out of that, we have targeted video and image domain, which is a computer vision domain. And in this domain, it's basically for developing these AI ML models. The average time that data scientists are spending on like doing data labeling, data pre-processing, model development, and also the deployment of these models. 80% of this time is being spent on just creating or doing the mundane work. And that is exactly what we are trying to solve using Automaton AI's no-code platform, Advit Studio. So where we are basically bringing everything as a centralized platform, which can be on-premise and also customizable along with the APIs, so that customers can basically take this into consideration and they can work on from the perspective of custom development of this platform, like on top of this platform in terms of AI ML model development. So this is how the platform looks like. So all the way from data pre-processing, labeling, management, model training and serving, right? And also integrating various different Gen AI models as and when needed when it comes to deployment of these models for synthetic data generation as well. So this is how the platform looks like, and we are also a revenue positive company. In terms of AI ML, in terms of the use cases that we have been solving are much more focused and concentrated towards drones, agriculture, smart city, satellite, and also now we have just started with manufacturing as well. So that's basically where we are taking into consideration various different corporates. So we are into B2B market segment, and this is basically our song for the B2B market segment in terms of the SaaS-based revenue that we are targeting. This is our revenue models. Our platform basically goes from various different stages in various different ways of selling this particular model. Recently, we have also started working with so like selling this platform to the educational institutes as well, where educational institutes can do their research using this platform and develop more and more set of models and use cases. So this is how our competitor landscape looks like. Most of the competitors are all global to Automaton AI because this platform is a unique combination of like for the data scientist, where the data scientists can utilize this platform to develop their own set of models. So we are targeting the B2B sector with a differentiating factor of having our training like customizable and white labeled platform for our customers. And second, very important thing is we are also talking about like deploying these particular use cases in various different domains with different set of models that are custom pre-trained from Automaton AI. I'll show you a brief about the models as well, and also the data sets that we provide. So let's say drones, agriculture, and manufacturing, right? Data is a huge asset in this particular domains when it comes to deep learning model development. And that is exactly where we are also working with these customers in order to provide them a differentiating factor than what our competitors are providing today. So this is our team. Myself, I'm founder and CEO of Automaton AI. We have Mr. Narendra Firodia, who is angel investor with Automaton AI and also an advisor for Automaton AI. We have Mukesh Muthian, who is the CTO of Automaton AI, and he is basically working on the product development continuously. We also have this is our financial projections for over the period of next 5 years. So in last year, in the last financial year, 22-23, we have clocked the revenue, and that's where we launched our product as well. We clocked a revenue of $150,000. This year, we are on track to clock a revenue of $1.1 million. Currently, we are with the POs of $400,000, almost $400,000 in hand. And now we are basically looking forward to raise our seed round. We can call this as a pre-seed round of $1.5 million in order for us to basically expand with our vision to be a global platform company in terms of AI, ML, deep learning, and also be a preferred choice for deep learning and generative AI model development specific to the industries that we are focused on in terms of drones, agriculture, manufacturing, and satellite. Also, we are looking forward for generating a model IP and the data IP, because data-centric approach is something what we are also targeting. As Andrew Ng rightly said, Andrew Ng is called the father of AI. He is basically taking the similar approach of data-centric AI in order to develop the ecosystem for actual data sets, so that no biasing issues or all other issues that are coming there in AI ML, right? Specifically to videos and images. That is what we are trying to make sure that this platform is sorting out. If any questions, would be more than happy to answer. I did not get time to present all the slides, but there are like other slides as well in terms of traction, in terms of like what kind of use cases we are serving, in terms of what kind of ecosystem we have, and this is our ask basically.
Thanks, Bhushan. That's a very good overview. Yes, you're right. We are a bit short of time, but we can share a pitch deck with our audience over here afterwards, so they can get back in touch with you afterwards. And we have a panel discussion here anyway afterwards. Let me invite our next speaker to come up now. Cheruku Shrikant. Cheruku, are you with us? Cheruku runs a company called Digital CFO. And as you all know, it's very important to bring not just big companies, but also SMEs into this knowledge economy. So that's some of the work that Cheruku is doing. Cheruku, Shrikant, are you there?
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, Shrikant, go ahead. We're going to give you rights now to share your presentation.
Yeah.
Till then, you can say a few words about yourself while we get the slides up. Thanks.
I'll be sharing the slides from my side, or would you be sharing there?
Yeah, you got the rights.
Oh, okay, just 1 second, please.
And while that's coming up, I just want to give a shout out to our international delegates who joined us. In this room, we have with us Suguru Kawashima from Findy. We also have online Natsuko Mochizuki from Japan, and Christina Milchuk from Germany/Spain, who's also online. So big warm welcome to all of you, as well as to all the other people from, I guess, Bombay, Delhi, and other parts of India. Okay, good. So Shrikant, over to you.
All right. I hope you can see my screen.
Yep.
All right, so just to set a context, we are a financial management tool and an integrated accounting and financial management platform. The name of the company is IDOS, and the name of the platform is Digital CFO. So the issue that we are trying to focus on, or the problem that we're trying to solve, is with respect to data in core bookkeeping and accounting. So at this point in time, a lot of innovation has come and a lot of technologies have been brought in at the fintech level, at an ecosystem level, primarily focused on payments or insurance, regulation, or taxation. But all the existing applications of the entire ecosystem is actually working on data, which is being generated by legacy systems. To a very large extent, the core bookkeeping and accounting is being managed to a very large extent. In fact, almost 80% of the market is working on legacy systems, which do not generate data in real time for it to be consumed upstream for any kind of value addition. And this is a problem which is global in nature. And many of the business people would be aware that the accounting data is most of the time prone to errors, delays, and issues with reconciliation, rework, and audit. And this is a challenge that we are solving at IDOS through our platform of Digital CFO. So as I said, the problem primarily is with respect to the ability of the business to leverage data. So what happens is, even though a lot of accounting and financial management is happening on a day-to-day basis, the data is going unleveraged, a lot of dark data in accounts and finance, because irrespective of any organization, most of the reporting, most of the financial management is being done by using spreadsheets. Now, the same spreadsheet is not being reused the next month. Next month, you have another set of spreadsheets, and at the end of the year, you are ending up with multiple spreadsheets which are not used in the subsequent year. And all the data which is there in the spreadsheet is actually very valuable data, but it goes unleveraged. And that actually creates a lot of opportunity loss for the company and also the entire ecosystem. The opportunity, and this is primarily because of the fact that a lot of human errors in the process of bookkeeping and accounting, because human intervention is quite significant in the entire process. And the second big reason is that many of the applications which are being used by businesses, both small and large, they work in silos. And reporting and analytics requires collation of data from different silos, consolidating the data and then generating reports. And because of integration issues and lack of availability of information in real time insights are not visible or not available. And decision-making is always not very scientific, and significant amount of opportunity loss and increase in cost of operations. And the only way we can overcome this particular situation is by ensuring that there is accuracy, reliability, and compliance at the very inception of a transaction. And as an accounting process, what is very important is that when you process a transaction, you should be ensuring that the particular transaction is being accounted accurately. It is complying to the relevant taxes and also complying to relevant regulatory requirements, both statutory as well as some regulations which are internal to the organization. And this is the most important piece. Unless at the inception, you're able to bring in that level of accuracy and reliability, upstream usage of that information in real time is out of question. And once we are able to generate data accurately at the very inception, the consequent benefits it provides to the business at large and the business ecosystem at large is significant. And this is where the need for real-time information, which is reliable, accurate, and compliant, for it to be used upstream.
Srikanth, you got 1 minute left.
Sorry?
You got 1 minute left.
Yeah, sure. So this is the challenge that we have solved at Digital CFO. It completely eliminates the human errors in the whole process of bookkeeping and accounting through automation. And it also digitally connects the businesses with the stakeholders like banks, insurance companies, suppliers for different products and services. And it helps the company in 3 ways. 1, reduction in cost of operations. 2, increase in sales. 3rd, availability of working capital when you need it. So just imagine that you need a certain amount of money. The software using the data actually analyzes means by which you can get that funds available for the business, either through invoicing or through loans or any other manner, so that the working capital management becomes efficient. In terms of traction, currently some of the largest accounting firms in the world are our customers. We have 2 of the big 4 as our customers. And we also have banks like HSBC who use our platform for multiple credit operations to use the accounting data to provide credit solutions for customers. And we have a GTM with Microsoft globally. We also have GTM with 3 of the other top 10 accounting firms in the world and leading banks and financial product companies. Some of the accomplishments we have, we've rated among the top 10 in fintech innovations by NSR CIM Bangalore. And our product actually became the first product in the 150-year history of PwC to be white labeled by them. So PwC India runs their CFO services on our platform. And the former chairman of Microsoft India, Mr. Bhaskar Monik, is one of the advisory board members. Our target market primarily is India, Africa, Middle East, and Southeast Asia. We believe that we can add more value in these markets. And we're primarily looking at these markets initially. We're not really looking at the US and Europe at this point in time. And I'm the founder. I'm a chartered accountant, and my co-founder Mehul is a computer science engineer from IIT Bombay. We are already a mature startup, a bootstrapped and HNI investment. We are not looking for investment. We're primarily looking for partnerships and GTM collaborations. Thank you.
Thanks, Srikanth. That's a very impressive list of customers that you have there. And you've shown us very well that accounting is not a boring industry at all. It's quite a happening place and getting transformed thanks to AI and Gen AI. So we hope you can share your deck with the other participants here, and I'll connect you to the other speakers afterwards. So we have a couple of other presenters also, but one of them unfortunately is not here. He's gone to GITEX Gulf IT Expo to pitch his startup in Dubai. So he's going to be sharing his pitch deck with us also, as well as one of the other speakers. So now, having heard what startups are doing in the digital transformation space, let's look to what's happening in the large corporate sector and bigger companies in that sector. So I'm going to invite Ritu Grover to come up next. Ritu Grover is the Director of Knowledge Management at Khaitan and Company. She's one of the pioneers of knowledge management in India. She's been in this field for more than 25 years, and is a pioneer, especially in the field of AI and the legal sector. And as you all know, the legal sector has very well structured data primed for using KM and AI. So Ritu, over to you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Madan. I hope I'm audible.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool. And good evening, everyone. So, well, a very interesting presentation so far. A lot of learnings for me, because we also keep evaluating a lot of products for our firm. And as Madan mentioned, I'm representing Khaitan and Co, which is one of the largest and oldest full-service law firms in India. We are very tech-oriented. But now, the topic that I'm going to talk about is completely different. Okay, so we are taking this opportunity to talk about what we do in KM and the recent initiatives that we have taken. As I mentioned, it's going to be completely different because I'm going to focus on how we are promoting knowledge management within our firm. The event that we just held was our maiden event here, at least in the firm. I have been associated with KPMG, EY, and Bharti Airtel before for many years. So, these are different worlds, but the interesting field of knowledge management, remains interesting. Okay. So Madan, I guess there will be other players as well who would be talking about the game week.
Yeah, of course. Yes. I would just very briefly in the morning, not the morning, but in the beginning, that there are 12 events happening around the world as part of KM Week, and we are one of them. But yeah, go on. You can add your own remarks.
Cool. So I'll share my screen now.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. Give me a moment. It's going to be a very quick one, just telling Madan. And yeah, hope it's visible. Cool.
Yeah, we can see it. Go ahead.
Yes. So yes, as I was mentioning, so I'm going to talk about the KM Week event that we just held last week. Globally, we're all celebrating or holding this KM Week this week, but since in our firm most of we kind of decided to do it last week, which was 9 to 13 October, considering that a lot of people were going on leave and it's a festive season, so we wanted to ensure that we have people in the office when we hold this event. And let me also add that right now we are still working in hybrid model, and teams are attending office twice or thrice a week, not more than that. So that way we don't really have full strength in office any day as of now. But yeah, I guess that's going to change very soon. So I'll just take 2 more minutes and talk about what we did. So we the whole objective was to kind of connect people and engage them in KM with KM, and also to understand their challenges, their requirements, issues, which don't get to they don't get to discuss through formal interactions or surveys. So we wanted to take this opportunity to connect with them and planned a few events. So, for example, we planned some online quizzes, and most of our members in the firm are lawyers. We do have other professionals like tax professionals and so on, but yes, majority of them are lawyers. So we ran quizzes on various aspects of laws, different laws, which a lot of them found very interesting. So we did those quizzes. We also held KM Chaos, the physical chaos, in 2 of our offices, Delhi and Bombay. And people were pretty excited, and our team was pretty excited because we were doing it for the first time. So we set it up some space where people could come and have a chat with us, have some chocolates, and also again do some kind of a quick on-the-spot quiz. So we asked them a few questions, said 3 questions, and people who were able to answer all those 3 got some mementos, the rest got chocolates. So this is what we did. And in the KM week, we also offered them double credit points for all the contributions that they do, for all the submissions that they do in knowledge management system. And this is quite a hit because we actually got double of the usual count we would get. Then we're taking this opportunity to launch our KM newsletter, which we call KM Palette. So that will cover what we do here at Khaitan in KM, what is happening across the globe, the event that we held, the initiatives that we take, and the statistics and all that. So and so we'll just kind of because this event was pretty interesting, and since we were doing it for the first time, a lot of people came and said that this is something that we could actually do it a little more often, and just kind of sharing some of the photographs of that. All, as I mentioned, we did not have full strength in the office, and in fact, let me also say that we did have some learnings out of this entire event, because like daily office, not many people were there, but those who were there, and despite their busy schedule, a lot of them did make some time out and come to meet our team, who then had exchange of pleasantries and information, games, and we took feedback and testimonials from them. So we also got to we got some insight as to how they perceive knowledge management services, and how it adds value to their work, and what changes they would like us to make. So now I'm just gonna give sorry, let me just okay, yeah. So these are just some of the photographs that we took that day. Despite thin attendance in office, so probably next time we'll do it for more than one day, and we'll also cover other locations. But yeah, some people did turn up and shared their thoughts. Some of the senior members also, right? You can see some of the senior members also came up and appreciated the efforts and the event. So there were a lot of learnings, knowledge sharing, and collaboration that happened through this event. Will be and I'll be putting a post on LinkedIn, Madan, as I mentioned, and yeah, we could all this is almost in line of the globally announced KM week. So we'll share our experience with the larger audience through that. Well, for now, that's what I have to share. Just in case there's any question, so you're more than welcome to ask.
Yeah, me too. So fantastic. Thanks for putting a very human and social face on this whole knowledge management activity. It's one thing to talk about digital technology, but ultimately it's human beings who have to use it and get some value out of it. So what else is lined up in the rest of the week? You finished the week, or you still have 2-3 more days to go?
No, so we did it last week, Madan. So we had quizzes, online quizzes going every day. Then we had these kiosks where people visited and met with KM team in person and interacted. And now we're just gonna sum it up, our experience, and those, and acknowledge those who visited and those who actually won those prizes in those quizzes and the games that we had. That we're gonna do through the newsletter. It sounds a bit, let me say upfront, it does sound a bit basic, but sometimes you have to really focus a lot on basic, or maybe you have to come back to basics sometimes, because that really helps in building the connections further. We can always have those tools, but we really wanted to do this in person in our offices, and based on the feedback, I guess we're going to plan it in other offices as well next time.
That's excellent. Starting in one office and rolling out to others. That's a great strategy. Thanks so much, Jitu. Thanks for joining us. And please stay online as much as you can to see what other people have to say. That'll be great. Others, all the best. And we look forward to your LinkedIn post. Is that coming next week?
Hopefully by Friday.
It has to go through legal clearance, of course, right? No, just joking. Okay, great. Thanks, Jitu.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. So we began with talking about the government view of the digital knowledge economy. We heard a couple of startup perspectives, corporate sector now. Let's turn now to how academia coming into this space. I want to invite Saeed Adil Hussain to speak next. Saeed Adil Hussain is the head of startup programs at Art Park at IISc. So they bridge the divide between industry and academia and also bring sort of corporate spin-offs, academic spin-offs and investment into the whole picture. So a very, very important connect between the knowledge economy of the university and the industry at the other end. Saeed, over to you and tell us about Art Park and how you're working with this whole knowledge industry. Saeed.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. Am I audible enough?
Yeah, perfect.
Great. First of all, thank you for inviting me, Madan, and the team. Really look forward. I would have loved to be in presence, but last minute getting caught up with the meetings with the government.
Yeah, you're cheating. You're in Bangalore and you're coming online. All Bangaloreans are here. Only outside people are.
I just reached my home so that I can make it to this call. Otherwise, I would have loved to come to the office of KDM and do this. Next time, definitely I'll be in person.
Sure, we're just joking. Yeah.
So I think what I'm trying to give the perspective of what I'm working currently, a new startup which I've joined 2.5 years back, and which the government, both from the national and the regional point of view, are trying to create this ecosystem of deep tech support of the startups. I'll run through it, what we are doing it, and probably I'll be able to give some sense of what is the ecosystem in the deep tech or the upcoming AI technology, what we're creating. Let me share you my quick presentation. Yeah.
Yeah, we can see it.
You can see it. Okay, great. So we are called Art Park. It's AI Robotics Technology Park. We were born 2.5 years back by the support of Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, and Government of Karnataka at the regional front. We are Section 8 not-for-profit organization. Our sole purpose is to incubatory for the next generation of robotics and AI startup for the developing world. So I say very easily that we are the startup for the startups. So yeah, so quick background about me. In the last decade, I've been creating an ecosystem for tech startups, deep tech startups in India and across some of the globe. Been worked with Westcraft, Intel, Google, and the last few of the companies where I've handled this startup incubations program and bunch of acceleration program. Currently, I'm working at Art Park as a startup program and a marketing head here. So yeah, what is the existence of the Art Park is, between the research and the products, once it comes in the market, there is a gap of the translation gap of the, we see the 4, 5, 6, where the people are doing the basic principle observation of the technology readiness happening at the research level. But when it goes to the translation, there is a huge gap which we found between the academia and the finished product, where we trying to bridge this gap, which is at the technology readiness level of 4, 5, and 6, which is our focus primarily. And what we do exactly is we do 3 things. We do a venture creation program called Startup at Art Park. We do a platforms creation, which is more of resource test beds, data centers. We call it engines for productizations. And the third is the skilling at Art Park, which is definitely the new age training for the, not only for the academia, but also for the enterprise, also for the rural development. That's what we believe. And then we focus on these. The area what we focus is industry 4.0, mobility, anything to do with the UGV, UAV, health, intelligent healthcare systems, agri-tech. These are the broad domains area what we work in. How do we do this? Our idea is to bring government, research, and industry at one platform and discuss the more of the upcoming technology focus shift, manufacturing, autonomous mobility, all this. And we have been trying to do in the last 2.5 years. And I should say, we have been quite successful in this area when we try to bring them, the policy makers from the government and everyone, help them to liberalize certain policies in the drone sectors from the Art Park and ISC point of view. So these are the entity whom we work very closely from the government of Karnataka, BBMP, DST, PSA, ICMR, Niti Aayog. And then if you look at the research, ISC, NVIDIA, NIFMD, and the NCBS, these are the key. And the startups in industry, Google, AWS, Nokia, Bosch, these are the key partners whom we work with regularly. Let me come to the point what we exactly do. When we started ArtPark 2.5 years back, we have gone through the various incubation and acceleration program, what is running in India and the world. We thought, how can we be different and how can we really make a meaningful for this deep tech ecosystem? So we categorize our program into three structure. One is the Spark, Ignite, and the Boost. Spark is a very early stage. Anyone who has an idea on the deep tech or a probably a tech startup, she or he want to start the startups. But what we do is we run them through the 4-month structured mentorship and I should say workshop program. And we run them through these courses, market understanding, problem solutions, user research journey, and then help them to save their 4 to 5 years of the startup journey where they get to know, okay, fine, am I ready for my startup or not? So this is the prelim program, what we do it. And we encourage faculty members, students from the second year. So we are running first cohort with 15 startups, 15 ideas. There are faculty members, there are women from the rural part of the India who have joined these courses and then going through. The second is the Ignite, which is the major flagship. And confidently, I should say, no one in the world is doing this program. What we do is we don't support, but we create a startups, deep tech startup. So we look forward for the start ideas to come in at the TRL level 0 to 1. We exit them at the TRL level 7, 8, or 9 in the months, 24 months. We incubate them with us. We provide them the funding support. We give them the facility, labs, test beds. We give them the connectivity with the government, industry, and startup ecosystem. We also give them exposure to set up their offices or network in the different parts of the globe, and then also enable the functional support to them. So what I'm trying to do is, so this is the first cohort from the Art Park, which is going to graduate by next month. If you see in the grid on the left-hand side is the Comrado Aerospace, which is doing the aerial mobility. The second is the AlgoFet, which is doing on the autonomous drone charging pod and the BMS battery management system for the drone charging. The Vedine is SOM drone. The bottom left is Chedate Robotics, which is a legged robot, which you would have seen in the Boston Dynamics. But in India, it is one of the unique organization, which is Chedate Robotics within us, who is working on this. Sora Robotics is the indigenous robotic components which needs for any robots to move, actuators and others. They're trying to reduce the import footprints or collaborate more on the global level to make this indigenous part of it. Ahem is on the telepresence robotics. So what happened when these guys joined us 2 years back, they were just with an idea at the TR level 0. Today, they are still not incorporated startup. They are called pre-ventures. But today we have got them almost 80 crores grant from the government to work on their entire prototype, getting them ready. They're all of them are at TRL level 7 to 8. They have customers today before becoming an incorporated startups. And then we have given them the muscles of branding, I should say, marketing, human resource, financial governance. All this has gone through the last 2 years structure program. How to file IP, how to get a patent, what are the challenges to file a startup, how do you do your sales pitch, what is your basic, everything is taken care, 365, I should say. When they join, the basic industry standard salary is taken care for 2 years. And then we do a follow-on grant for them from the government. And today, and after once they graduate from us, we don't leave them. We provide them the space to manufacture this hardware in a 75,000 square feet area, which is called Art Garage, which is a new facility which Art Park recently launched it. I'll show you some of the images of it. So this is in a nutshell what we give the Ignite cohort a deep tech support. And then we also help them raising funds, seed and series A later once they incorporate. But this is a journey what they've gone through it, and they're doing fabulous within the ISC and Art Park as of now. The third leg is a Boost, which is a partnership program. Here, what we look incorporated startups. You get the access to Art Park ISC and the government. What we do, you get the access to participate in the industry events what Art Park host or do with the government. You do the access of talent. We do a fellowship program run with the Pan India academia. When these fellowship students comes in, it's not that they only work with the Art Park. We open it with the art startup ecosystem. That they can be a part of your uh, startup, and we take care of their stipends. So this is how we roll it and benefit for our startup ecosystem. Then one thing is interesting is the collaborative partners for projects and grants and initiatives. Whenever there is a government, these are the few of the startups who are working with us closely in the last 2 years, I should say, and get added more and more over time. So I was talking about the one of the leg, which is very important in the startup ecosystem, how they give back to the community and benefit the entire world. So if you look at the left-hand side grid, Stempedia is one of the startup which is in the robotic and AI space. Along with them, what we have done is we do a annual Codebear challenge, which we call it Codebear AI and robotic challenge for the students starting with the age of 6 years goes to the age of 15 to 16 years. We do it annually. We almost reach 1 lakh plus students. We almost reach 70 plus countries and free of cost. We don't charge to them. And then and this is an annual 1 year program where we mentor them, we give them the competition, they go through the sandbox. And then we realize the potential of ideas coming up from, I should say, from deep dive of South Africa to UAE. It's fabulous. And then which encourages our startup to work more and more on their ideas to go forward. The bottom left is the Stempedia again, which we are setting up a labs for the rural part of India where we wanted to especially empower the girl children in the Telangana. We started with that. We found it very deficit, that part, and most of them showed the interest. So with the help of the NTPC, we established the first AI lab in the Simadri, and we are hoping to open next 200 labs in the next 3 years with the NTPC over the entire pan India. The another thing which I want to highlight is we work very closely in the ROS community space, and first time in India we are getting the ROS event, which is happening, the ROSCON in uh, ISC Art Park, which I will definitely share invite to all the community members. Love to have you all here, which is happening on the 14th and the 15th of December. Yeah, the third leg is the skilling. As we understand that we always get question when we're working in the AI, robotics, and the new age. Are you taking up the job? How are you coping up? The question comes across the world from the government and everyone. And it's very simple that we understand there is a shift in the technology. So there's a shift in the skill sets is required. And we work very religiously towards it. We run various program, lab-led short courses along with the government, individually along with the Indian Institute of Science, and we do certain competitions annually, a meaningful couple of competitions which we every year we picked up and then try to do it at a large scale. So these are the two national level challenges which we concluded is the first one on the left hand side is we gave a problem statement to student across India that can you develop a robot which can clean the toilet in India. And it was a year long meaningful challenge where gone step by step, filtrated last 15 team where we were giving them some grant to build the hardware, and then they came to the finale where we created almost a, I should say, 50 to 60 feet simulation of a restroom, and then they have to do their final test and get judged by the various industry leaders. And a couple of them have gone ahead and doing some of the work with the Swachh Bharat campaign, the government of India and things. And the best part is none of the tier one colleges qualified to the final list. It all were from the rural part of the India, which was very, very uh, given a point of data that we always rely no only the IITians can do it, but no, it's not that point what we got from here. The second is the national level design challenge. When we are working in the mobility area, we have a vision to create a unmanned air ambulance with the government of India, and we have been working with this entire vision. So, but it goes with the step by step. The first step is we have created the Comrado Aerospace Company where we are working towards that on the first mile of it. So this is the national level design challenge where we open it up for the pan India or across the globe. That can you design an air ambulance? This entire thing, and this campaign went for a year. We got fantastic, some good response, top 10 And then some of them have been taken by the Atal Innovation and others to take it forward with it. And then also forward to the defense. ACS Command and other defense have been very, very keen on this campaign, and they started working with them. They've given them the second set of problem statement to work on that. So this is where the academia is playing a major role with real problem of the defense and the industries and the government. Here's the Art Garage, which is the new facility which I was talking about. This is one of the platform which we call it. This is almost a 75,000 5-acre space in the HMT, which is 20 minutes from the IAC. And what we do is when the Ignite cohort startups graduate, we provide them the space to manufacture the product. We provide them the space to work. We also have various other testing facilities which we are setting up, like 5G test beds, EV, I should say, Agritech COE, and various bunch of things which we are working on it and going forward. Then we open it for the rest of the startup ecosystem to come and work on here. Just to give you a quick show.
I think we're running out of time. Can you wrap up in a minute?
Yeah, sure. Over a while. And yeah, just a quick another platforms what we have been creating. We are doing the India's largest open source speech data sets along with Bhashni and the Google, where we understand next is how the vernacular language is going to make them more meaningful in the IoT devices. So this is more which I can talk offline if anyone interested. The last one is ArtPark and ICMR and ISC is the only entity who is collaborating and collecting the gold standard data set for the healthcare, which will be open source over a while to predict the various healthcare systems in India. And yeah, these are some of the startups where they met some of the entities. And yeah, so this is our QR code if you want to follow us. And if you have anything to write to us, I'm available at adil@artpark.in to anything to collaborate and things. Yeah.
I think that's a brilliant presentation. I hope we can share some of the slides with our audience. And you've touched a lot of very important touch points here for our audience. One is how you're building business capabilities for startups, how you're building tech and innovation capabilities for corporate sector, also defense and academia. And I can see Professor Molly nodding her head a lot. She's going to come a little bit later and talk about what academia are doing in this space also. So thanks, Adil, and please stay on. We're going to have some more discussion after the next couple of presentations. So I now want to invite, I think, do we have Prajwal here? Prajwal, are you here? Prajwal Halagati is Senior Engineer for Knowledge Management at Afcon's Infrastructure. Afcon is one of the largest construction companies, I guess, in India. So Prajwal, floor is yours. Can you share with us what Afcon is doing in this whole space of digital? Prajwal?
Hi, Madan. Am I audible?
Good, we can hear you. Perfect.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Madan. Let me share my screen.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Madan. First of all, I would like to thank you and the community for giving me a chance to present here. So prior to this, I have attended the meetings where I was I attended as a listener, and with all the experience I have.
Can you make it full screen?
Achha, okay. Is it full screen now?
Not yet. F4. F4. F4, I think.
Before I did that.
Yeah, that's okay. We can see it anyway. Don't worry. We can see it. Yeah. Go on.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. That's good. Kind of.
Yes. Okay. So now it gives me immense pleasure to be here as a presenter with all the learnings what I have learned from the previous meetings of KMJN as well as from the KM community. So yeah, my name is Prajwal Halagati. I'm a civil engineer and I have completed my postgraduate program from MXR, Goa. And my hobbies are I write short stories and I do yoga. And I have a total work experience of 8 years, and I have worked with the organizations like Kulte Patil Developers Limited and Larsen & Toubro ECC. And the current portfolio of Afcon's Infrastructure Limited, from the past 2 years, I have associated with Afcon's Infrastructure Limited. And Afcon's Infrastructure Limited, we are a project-based organization. And every project, we have a knowledge management as well as a technical training lead. Every project is supported by these two leads. And then, so I am the KM lead for 15 projects whose contract value is around 23,500 crores. And in addition to that role, also I'm handling the portfolio for improvisations and taxonomy here. So of course, we are extreme engineering and a construction company. We are a part of Shapoorji Pallonji Group. And of course, is the name behind some of the key projects across India. Can anyone guess what are these 3 projects which you are looking on the screen? Which is the first project? Can anyone guess?
Jammu Tunnel. What is that bridge?
Yeah, it's a Chenab Bridge, ma'am.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a world's highest single arch railway bridge across river Chenab. And the second picture is of, any guesses? Okay, it's a Atal Tunnel in Rohtang. So the first project is a Chenab project. It's a, as I mentioned, it's a world's highest single arch railway bridge. It speaks about the operational excellence and the innovations through which our AFCONS was able to execute that. The same project, it has been highlighted by the Railway Minister, Mr. Ashwin, and it was highlighted during Tim Cook's visit to India. And also about this project, Mr. Narendra Modi tweeted right after G20 summit. And the second project is Atal Tunnel Rohtang. So because of this particular tunnel, the people in Lahore and Spiti in Jammu part of the world for the 6 months. So initially, before this project was executed, the people at that particular location, they were disconnected with the world for the entire 6 months. So through this project, we are able to give them that connectivity. And this project was inaugurated in the previous year by Mr. Narendra Modi. And the photo, which is at the extreme right, it is of a Kolkata Metro Rail project. It's India's first underwater metro tunnel. So what I want to say is these are some 3 different type of projects and very challenging projects which AFCONS has executed. So how it was possible for us to execute? So generally, if you consider the industry or the projects which we operate, we are having 3 types of resources: money, machinery, and manpower. So at AFCONS, we have 4th resource, we call it as knowledge. So in the AFCONS in 2012, the knowledge management department was formed here. So from that time, how in order to make KM success, there are different questions which we ask ourselves so that we can ensure the success of KM in the organization. And those questions were, what is the knowledge which is critical for our organization? Where and how that knowledge is generated? And who is generating that knowledge, and who else in our company needs that particular knowledge? And what are the modes through which we are able to give that, we are able to transfer that particular knowledge to the persons? So this is the framework in which we operate. This learn before, learn during, and learn after. So this framework is of a British Petroleum. We, with the inspiration from this particular framework, we customized this framework to our industry or the type of the projects which we operate. As you might be aware, the definition of project itself says that it is a temporary endeavor which is undertaken to create a unique product or service within a particular time and schedule, time and budget. My bad. Yeah. So the different activities which are spread across the project life cycle, we have designed our knowledge management activities with reference to that. So there are some of the knowledge management activities which are there at the project start phase. There are some activities which are there during the project execution phase. There are some activities which will come at the project completion stage. For example, if we are going to execute a particular activity, 4 weeks prior to that activity, we are having activity-based classroom in which our project people will be coming and they will be explaining how they are going to execute that activity. And once the activity is at 60% completion, we'll be having lessons, we will be having lesson learned on that activity. And once the project is at around 80% completion, we'll be having a lessons learned for the entire project as well as preparation of the project completion report. So next is a very confusing slide, which was also a shock to me when I saw this, when I prepared this. Man, this looks, it's very, this thing. So our main, what I want to convey through this slide is, whatever we are seeing inside the blue line here, these activities fall under learn before, learn during, and learn after. So over the period of time, what we have realized that what we can do to contribute to the activities which are there before the project is allotted, after the project is completed. So the things which are outside the blue line. So at the tendering stage itself, before the project is allotted to a company, we are giving our inputs to the tendering team and the pre-tendering team, so that they will have their own homework and then it will help them in the bidding. And also one of the initiative we have is we are building an academy, like in-house academy. We are calling it as a ATMA, FATMA, FCONS Talent Management Academy, in which people will enroll themselves, and then they will be assessed, and then they will be given a level. So over the period, with the content available on the Atma, they will upgrade themselves and they will move up the ladder. So coming to the operational part of KM, these are activities with what we do, I have explained. Then these things show how we do that. So the first thing I want to explain is a mission 10,000. So as I mentioned, the different activities of KM, we have a gamified approach to this mission 10,000. So this gamification entire thing was developed by Mr. Rudolph D'Souza, so from FCONS. So I think most of the people you might have interacted with him, and you know Mr. Rudolph sir. So this mission 10,000, it acts like a barometer which shows how the project is contributing towards the knowledge activities. So with that gamification, our entire projects are competing with each other. So since I have explained about this mission 10,000, also I want to explain a personal lesson which I learned in the previous year. That was of Mr. Ajit Singh.
Can you wrap up in 2 minutes, Prajwal? 2 minutes.
Okay, yes.
2-3 minutes, yeah, thanks.
Yes, I will do that. Thanks. So this particular person, during the financial year, that particular project was not able to achieve mission 10,000. And then our senior management, they had a discussion with the project manager, and then they told the importance of this thing. And then within a year, there was a stage when in the entire financial year, the project was not able to reach up to 3,000 or 4,000 points. Now they're able to score about more than 1 lakh. So that's how the one particular man's emotion changed, which led to the change in his behavior, and which led to change in the entire behavior of our employees. So with that thing, so in order to execute our activities, we have our supporting persons called as knowledge ambassadors and knowledge senators. And also I want to highlight certain campaigns which we do here. So one of the campaigns, what we do is November to December, it's a 2-month knowledge dissemination festival. Yeah, this we do it in November to December, in which our entire projects will be competing with each other. And also we have the campaign called as Change the Habit and Make the Habit. So we have achieved a huge success in these 2 campaigns. And one of the testimonials what we have received from Make the Habit is people are coming to our internet portal and then they are using, and how that particular asset, what they got has helped them in achieving the success in their particular project. Also, we have our connecting the dots, in which KM lead and expert will be sitting together and then discussing with each other, and then they will be sharing their success stories. And one of the connecting dots, we had series with Mr. Madan sir about storytelling. We also had an episode on storytelling by Madan sir. And about Atma, I mentioned it's a FCONS Talent Management Academy. Also, we do master classes where expert is coming and explaining about a particular topic. Also, what a challenge we faced in the initial was getting the right knowledge at the right time. So then we started working on the taxonomy and for the auto classification of the documents, and then we are working on it. Still, it's in the pivot stage. Once we achieve the success in that, I hope I will be able to share the success story in the coming meetups. Also, we have engineering the future the FCONS way. In this, going to the particular location in the project, people will be explaining what are the challenges or the lessons there. So, Madan sir, just 2 minutes, I will summarize this thing.
Sure.
Yes, okay. Thank you. So to summarize, I want to tell that we FCONians, we have an unflinching vision and courage to execute the projects, no matter how difficult or how challenging that thing is. And management support, it is very much important to ensure the success of the KM activities. So at FCONs, we are lucky to have the management support, as it can be seen in our vision 2027. We have a mission like to be a knowledge enterprise. And then our knowledge management department is the only department in the company which is having or engaging with the entire people across the organization, right from the supervisor who is executing work at the project to the BU heads. And also the business impact with general, I want most of our projects, we operate in 3 metrics. First metric is being executing the work, how difficult or how challenging that thing is. Second metric is how we are able to create a repository of knowledge, what we are getting from the project. And the third metric is how we are able to get the business opportunities. So one best example I want to tell is, as I mentioned about KMRC, Kolkata Metro Rail Corporation. Since FCONs was able to successfully execute that project under river, we got the package in Mumbai Ahmedabad high speed rail project, in which there is a tunnel which is to be executed under sea. Since we are having the expertise and the knowledge created from one project, we are able to get a new business opportunity in the high speed rail project.
That's great, Prajwal. Thanks. We're almost out of time. Are you wrapping up now? You're almost
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Madan. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much, Prajwal. And can you share your slides with us afterwards? It's a very good case study of how people, process, and technology come together. A lot of opportunity here for analytics, AI, and various other technologies to be plugged in. Thanks so much, Prajwal. I will now invite Ranveer Pushpa to speak next. Ranveer Pushpa is the CEO of AC's Innovations. He bridges the gap between academia, also industry and consulting. So Ranveer, over to you. Tell us about some of the trends that you're seeing in this space and how companies, startups, etc., can work together in this space. Ranveer?
Yeah, thank you, Madan. I don't have any slides. I'll take a few minutes to talk about what is happening in the KM world, KM and AI world. A bit of it I don't have to tell most of the folks who are in the KM area, because now we are bombarded with what is happening in AI and KM. So whatever I'm talking about, it is like, oh yeah, I know that. So let me not talk too much about it. Nice to see the presentation by Prajwal. And the way KM is getting adopted. Of course, have always been one of the leaders or thought leaders in KM. So very nice to see that. Some of the what I will talk about is some of the trends. I mean, I'll not call it as trends because now AI is everywhere and AI is the trend. One thing that is evolving now with respect to knowledge management is it is taking the quality route now. So if you look into quality, when quality as a concept came up, the statement or the comment that was made was that in some time quality will become invisible, so that everybody practices with quality. Okay, that is where it is going towards, or that is where quality went. And KM is also now slowly taking that route thanks to AI, artificial intelligence influence with respect to the way we consume data, the way data is getting presented to us. So Prajwal may hate me or Ritu may hate me, but we are slowly getting into an era where the need for a KM function per se is coming down. Okay, what is coming up is intelligent knowledge management, where everything is bot or robots driven or AI driven, your digital assistant driven. Everything is digital assistant driven in the sense from a process centric perspective, capturing the content data that is getting generated. Then taxonomy as a concept is also going out, is what I understand. There are questions when we talk to our clients. they ask, why do I need a library, structured library? Okay, and we struggle to help them understand why they need a structured library. They come and ask, why do we need taxonomy? Right? I mean, so there is a lot of struggle that we have to explain to them the need for taxonomy, but there are companies that are coming up where they say that you don't have to have a structured shape library to store content. You keep it the way you want it. What you need is information or knowledge, and we'll get it for you. So that is where the era, we are getting towards. Knowledge management is slowly becoming invisible, and what that means is that organizations are now in a position to leverage what they know. With concepts like Microsoft Copilot coming in, large language modeling, what will happen is that you will be able to plug in your systems or the AI-driven systems into the documents that is getting generated within the organizations. The models that have been built by the companies will be applied onto the documents that you have generated, the information knowledge that you have, and based on that specific use cases, it will be able to cater to you. Be that a sales guy, be that a delivery guy, be that a leadership team, right? So KM is completely becoming invisible now. That is what we are seeing, and this is excellent days, because what will happen is that, like what Prajwal was talking about, when you start a project, you don't have to go and look for what has happened before. Your bot will come and tell you, okay, this is your project plan. I have built this project plan based on the whatever knowledge that has been developed as of now. If you're fine with this project plan, let me take it and implement it. Right? So you don't have to go and store, you don't have to have a system where there is a team that has to come and sit and understand what has been done in the past. No, the system will do it. And as a matter of fact, your role will be more a pure knowledge worker. You will sit, the bot will be your servant, or the AI will be your servant. Based on your knowledge level, it will come and show to you that this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to implement it. If there is anything further you want to add, you add it, and then I'm taking it. And it will be running on the knowledge that is being generated not only within the organization, but whatever is available in the intranet or internet also. For example, now what Microsoft is coming out with, the enterprise search related AI-driven search concept that they are coming out, they are trying to bring in the knowledge outside the organization, within the organization, through large language modeling and all these things. Okay, I'm not talking about the Copilot type. So essentially, the whole concept of KM is becoming more democratized. Organizations, they are going to apply KM without, they have been always applying KM without knowing that they are applying KM, and this will become more prolific everywhere. So, but there are areas which are challenges. When I say challenges, yesterday I was talking to a client with respect to KM, and we gave them a proposal with respect to how to manage your knowledge, how the entire system would be working, how the knowledge will be served to the different users. So they had one question. Okay, well, this is all fine, but can you tell me, where will the knowledge be found? Where will this information be found? Because you have to supply, the supply has to come from somewhere, right? I mean, say for example, I have all the knowledge, and if I don't put it somewhere, or the information is available, but it is not captured properly. For example, a service engineer resolves a ticket and doesn't update how the ticket has been resolved. This is a challenge that has been always been there for KM, and that challenge continues. Okay, now does AI have an answer for that? AI can have an answer for that through its different ways of capturing the data without troubling the employee who is working on the ticket, or who is resolving a problem, or who is building or working on any specific area. What I'm talking about is tacit knowledge. How do we tap this tacit knowledge? How do we connect these folks? So that is one big challenge. Another equally important challenge, not a challenge like this, but the challenge that I am facing, and we as an organization facing, is the cost of using these tools. It's very costly, in the sense, when we come out with an AI solution, clients these days ask for AI solutions only. Okay, you talk to the client, and you feel happy. Okay, somebody wants to pick up AI. Then you go ahead and you will come out with an AI solution for them. The moment they look at the cost for AI, the licensing cost and all these things, they kind of run off. Okay, it's not, for example, Microsoft Copilot that is coming up. From whatever I understand, it is $30 per person per month, if I'm not wrong. This is the kind of cost that is coming up. Okay, so cost of AI is, I mean, hopefully it will come down, and definitely it will come down as more and more. It's basically an industry. Any industry, if you look into it, anything new product, it will be costly, and later based on innovation, the cost will come down. But currently, it is a bit costly affair, specifically for Indian companies, because we work with large and small Indian companies, and what we have seen is that while there is a lot of interest in AI, the moment you look at the cost in all these things, most of the companies are not ready to pick it up. These costs that is being shared to a large extent is easier for the folks in the more developed world, but Indian companies to a large extent, what I've come across, at least for our clients, they kind of are not ready to pick up the additional operational expense that comes with an AI piece. So there is always a balance between what is the benefit that I'm going to get if I bring AI into it. Okay, so that is something that we are struggling. Which is also a good problem for us, because now we've started innovating, or we have started doing our research work on how do we bring in AI using different kinds of tools and keep the cost low. The way we landed in moon in a low cost technology, we are now evolving, trying to evolve AI innovations, low cost AI for Indian companies. So that is the I mean, this is the challenge, and this is where we are getting into the. So to sum it up, my key point is that KM is becoming invisible. KM is becoming pervasive. Okay, all the companies are picking it up. Knowledge management as a function, okay, may slowly become automated, and the number of knowledge management folks required would increase, because more companies will start having some need of knowledge management when they're applying it, but per company number of employees would come down, is my take. Okay. Over to you, Madan.
Thanks, Randeep, for the very broad overview of not just the technology, but the management and even economic challenges. And also thanks for pointing out that the cost of AI tools is still very high, especially in India. And that's where the big opportunity is for some of the startups in this room to look at the affordable part of access of AI, not just to big companies, but also to SMEs, government agencies, and so on. So coming towards the end of our speaker lineup, let me invite Professor Molly Chaudhary to take the stage now. Professor Molly is one of the champions of bringing industry into academia and vice versa. So Molly, tell us about what you've done so far in connecting academia and industry in this field of AI and knowledge management. Molly comes to us all the way from Mangalore. Thanks, Molly. Over to you.
Hi, everyone. Just in time, my power went off here in Mangalore, and so I'm on the mobile. So, yeah, good evening, and it's nice to see and be back with the K community. Not being able to come to Bangalore for a long time. Otherwise, I was a regular at the K community meetings in Bangalore.
She was the most popular one because she would bring cakes and all kinds of gifts for us. So we miss you a lot, Molly.
Yeah, we will have that more often. Maybe we can have one of the meetings in Mangalore, and I can feed you the fish for those who eat fish. A lot of Let's talk something about KM at MSNIM. I work with an education sector in the education sector, and we are basically everything what KM talks about, knowledge sharing. So education is the thing that we talk about in KM, where it is about learning and sharing. So constantly we are sharing knowledge. At the moment, being KM week, not been able to do any programs this week, basically because our university calendar and the KM calendar clashes. And most of my students are interning at this point of time, and so they are not been there. But I have planned a program for the students where I will be taking up a session, a mind map session on personal KM for them. So that has been lined up as a special program for the KM week. But KM in MSNIM, that's my institute, we have integrated KM into the regular teaching and learning process, into the work that we do. We have a learning management system where we have integrated a lot of this academics, administration, accreditation, and all the things that come under the various verticals into the learning management system. So that's one place where everything is available for us. Second, we have created something called as knowledge bites. And the students, the faculty, everyone share these knowledge bites. We have put it in a way that every week we have a sharing session, which we'll put it on our website for everyone to see, for all our students and our faculty to see what exactly what they have. So that will have a company which will be featured there, a model. It could be from an HR area, from a finance area, from a marketing area, from a branding area, any of these. It could be a BCG matrix, it could be a Porter's model, something which the students can remember and take it along with them at the end of when they go out of the institution. It will also feature a company story, its products and various things that the company is dealing with, so that the students remember the CEOs, what the products of these companies, and so that it makes it easy for them to remember and things like that. So that's second. So the sharing of knowledge nuggets will also be there in that. The third is we have something called as an MSNM knowledge series, where we bring people who are professionals or experts or have done, who have been in the industry, and they share their journey, their various jobs and work that they do, the best practices, all with our students. So that comes under our MSNM knowledge series. Fourth, we have something called as a faculty immersion program. And that's where I will also be talking connected with the Knowledge Management Global Network Week. I will be talking about personal knowledge management. And I will use a pedagogy of mind map so that people find it very easy. It says a picture is worth 1,000 words. So we want to teach our students to remember things much faster than reading a lot of pages. We encourage reading, no doubt, but then how do you remember things fast? So that's why I'll be taking up a session on mind mapping. Then we have this community of practice, which we bring it through our Samanvaya activities. Samanvaya is basically a coordination and harmonious coordination and integration of various activities which help students to learn holistically through activities. So we have poster making, we have collage there, we have role play, we have competitions for them. There are quizzes out there. So plenty of external, we give them product which it could be a fan without a blade or a mixie without electricity and things like that, which they have to plan it out, and what's the product, go out, talk to people, try to market it, and then come and tell us what is the feedback, what is the sales that they have done. So more practical way of thinking, and we have competitions within that. We also have competitions for the best business ideas of students, where we keep a prize money for the students so that we encourage entrepreneurship. We have something called we just finished a student entrepreneur summit last week, where we had Professor Prasad, who came from IIM Mumbai, which was earlier NITI, and he spoke to students about earning 100 rupees a day. If you can, as a student, try to earn 100 rupees a day, you can take up any type of product. So we encourage students to do a little of rural entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship from waste, recycling of products. So students bring in old saris and maybe make bags out of it, purses out of it, and then sell them or they make earrings and small earrings and then sell those. They can make straws out of coconut things, or make brooms out of it. So variety of things are being making the seeds, which they sell it to people for encouraging environment and things like that. So we encourage these things also with the students through our Samanvaya activities, which is a lot of knowledge sharing. So that's where I said it's all integrated into the system. Then we also have what's coming up. We also have community of practice for students, where like-minded students sit down together for photography sessions, or they can talk in terms of branding or digital marketing these days. That we encourage that. Social media, we encourage them to do reels and put up. So these type of activities are also encouraged for the students. We are coming up with the international conference, which is on adoption of artificial intelligence, opportunities and challenges, which will be done along with 2 foreign universities, and to bring in a lot more of how artificial intelligence can be there, both in the industry as well as in academics. So these are a few of the activities that we do. The only thing is we are not able to do this week because my students are interning, but it's fun. Learning is fun. That's where knowledge management is also fun. And that's how we want students to take it, as it's a fun activity and enjoy what they are doing. Over to you, Madan.
Thanks, Molly. You're right. It's a lot of fun. I love this space. I love this work. It's great to meet people like this to brainstorm with and push the envelope of technology, but also have fun and enjoyment along the way. Thanks for bringing up those very important topics about the international conference on AI that you're organizing. I can connect you to some of the speakers over here who would love to come and speak and give you demos of what's happening. And also you talked about personal knowledge management. That's one of the most important challenges for us. What used to be information overload has become personal gain, personal AI, how to train and use AI tools, etc. So thanks for bringing up all these very important issues. We're now coming to the last of a couple of speakers now. But before we go there, I want to spend a couple of minutes paying tribute to a great author called Lawrence Prusak. Larry Prusak, in short, was the author of some of the most seminal books of knowledge management. He passed away very recently, just a few weeks ago. And I've had the honor of having met him when he was at the prime of his career. He published a couple of authoritative books. One was called Working Knowledge, How Companies Grow by Sharing the Knowledge. I have one of his other books here. This is called Knowledge Organizations, and it's a compilation of essays by a whole bunch of experts, including one of the fathers of KM called Ikujiro Nonaka, one of the Japanese gurus in this space. Larry Prusak, I met him when I published my first book on knowledge management in the US. And when I met him and I said, "Hi, Larry, I've used your book as a reference in my book." He looked at my book and almost with a childlike glee, he said, "Can I have a copy of your book?" So I gave him a copy of my book. That's how much he loved books. And one of the other gurus in this field, David Snowden, also mentions how Larry Prusak used to almost devour books. He'd always buy books and give books as gifts and so on. Lawrence Prusak was of Russian origin, but he made most of his career take off in the US, in places like Boston and so on. And he was also invited to KM Russia. And the founder of KM Russia is here with us right now. Vadim Shiryaev is online with us, as well as Olga Smirnova. And I want to invite Vadim and Olga to share with us from Russia what are the contributions that Larry has made, and what a great human being he was to advance this field across the globe, across Europe, Asia, Africa, the US, and so on. So Vadim and Olga, over to you.
Hi, Madam. Hello, dear colleagues from all over the world. It's a privilege for us to talk about Larry Prusak today. And thanks to our good friend Madan for this invitation. And yes, of course, Larry Prusak made a great influence not only on KM globally, but on us as people, as friends, because I would say that Larry Prusak was not only a great inventor, a great professional, but a very, very good friend for us. Because we met with him in different parts of the world, of course in Boston, US, Harvard. We had a very good excursion. He gave us excursion in MIT, and we met him in Cambridge all together with Ron Young and Naoki, and he visited Moscow several times to join KM Russia. And all the meetings we had with Larry was full of wisdom. We learned a lot. And he was very different from all the rest. He was very deep, very sharp, and very kind. How to say, as a strong person, he was very always ready to help, to explain, and to drive us to look deeper and deeper. He always drove us, please think deeper, understand deeper, and showed us the way. And let me share my screen. I will share several pictures with Lawrence. I'm trying to share, and you can see that. Yeah. Do you see that?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. It's a very good sign of Moscow. Maybe you recognize this place. It's a red square, and it's Larry Prusak, and we go together. And one more picture. It is from all together with Ron Young and Olga. There is no Vadim, but Olga here, and we are in Boston with Larry. We discussed a lot, and I guess this day he shared with us his DTT, very easy way to have brainstorming, drink tea together, and it's in Harvard. And it's all together with Ron Young and Naoki. You see, it's a St. John's Innovation Center in Cambridge. So many places, and he's a great guy. And maybe you know this book by Larry Prusak and Tom Davenport. I guess this book, it was something like Inception, the very beginning of knowledge management, and it was great privilege for us to talk, work, and collaborate and create all together with Larry on different continents, almost everywhere. Olga, would you add a bit?
Maybe just one thought that Larry was a person who was full of wisdom and care about people, about knowledge which people have, and this wisdom gives him this really great deepness and attentive to people, to teams. And I would like to say that it was great privilege to know him, to have an opportunity just to be with him, to work with him, to do something with him. It doesn't matter, just have a tour in some new places or talking about knowledge management or listening to his stories. And I hope that we can grow this seed inside of us, and thanks that we have an opportunity to know that sort of people.
Thanks. Thanks, Olga. Thanks, Vadim. Vadim, you want to add something else before wrapping up?
30 seconds, maybe.
Yeah, please.
Because many of my friends from KM Vault say that collaboration is the heart of knowledge management. And Larry Prusak was a great example of collaboration. And when he first time visited KM Russia, he was asked such a question: what is most important in the KM? And his answer was very simple, but very valuable. Just talk and collaborate, and just start with a very simple one, with storytelling, with sharing, like drink tea together, and collaborate. And even when I've been in Moscow, he did not let me to grab a taxi. He's much older than myself those days, and he was so proactive and collaborative, and it was we were fighting who will grab the taxi, because and he was very proactive, very collaborative, and very good, honest and frank person. Madam.
Thanks so much, Vadim, for sharing with us the human side of this giant intellectual. We benefited not just from his books and his knowledge, but also the warmth of him as a human being. And that's a great message for all of us to take away that one day we will all be gone, but leave behind a legacy of not just knowledge, but of emotion and human connection. In fact, one of his more recent books came out just last year, the most recent one. It's about knowledge management in NASA, how NASA manages people, projects, and knowledge. And one of his other books, which I also read, was called Idea Practitioner. What's the big idea? And the brilliant part of that book was it says that a lot of people have ideas, very easy to get ideas, very hard to practice them. And it's people who are at the cutting edge of knowledge practitioners that are the ones who make the whole field advance. So whatever technology you're using, whatever ideas you have to make it work. And that is where the real progress in humanity happens, when you take an idea and put it to practice. So I think all the people in this room are idea practitioners in that sense. So hats off to all of you for carrying on the spirit of this great man. Thanks, Vadim. Thanks, Olga. You're most welcome to stay on and join the rest of the discussion. I see that we got our guest from Korea joining us. Hi, Mahima. How are you? Annyeong Hoseo. I'll invite you to come and say a few words in just a few minutes. We're going to finish a couple of other speakers, and then we'll come to what Korea is doing in this space. Thank you so much for joining us. So coming towards the end, we have two outstanding speakers to give us a very big, important perspective of the big picture of what's happening with AI and knowledge management. One is from the area of ethics and law. And I want to invite now Prashant Kataria, partner from King, Stubb and Kasima, to share with us what's happening in the space of legal issues, of ownership of all this data that we're talking about, who owns what, and so on. Prashant, over to you.
Thanks, Madan. It's great to be in this August gathering. I won't take too much of the time. So I am a corporate lawyer by training. I've been in this profession since 2003. I've worked in cities like Mumbai, Singapore, and Bangalore. Work with law firms primarily, and I have been focusing more on VC, M&A, private equity, and deep tech and tech-related sort of advisory as well. The new technologies that have been coming about, AI and related sort of Web3 technologies, and the legal and ethical issues surrounding that sort of is one of my passions. So coming to AI, I don't need to go into what AI is, etc. I mean, everyone around here knows all that in detail. What I want to touch upon is what are the ethical and legal issues surrounding that, what are the legislations in force, at least in India, and just touch upon what's been happening in around the globe as well. So in India, we do not, like in other countries, we do not have any specific legislation which governs AI. However, very recently, as recent as this week, our minister, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, he made a statement stating that the government will regulate AI, and there is talks about having a specific legislation which would govern AI. And if I like to quote, he said that AI, like any other technology, will be disruptive, but it can also be abused by criminals. As a result, we created the Digital India Act. So this is in its formative stage. It's not a law yet. A framework for all emerging technologies, including AI, and establish the principle that technology can be used for any purpose, but must not cause harm. So that's the very core principle of medicine as well, right? I mean, first cause no harm. So similarly, it sort of extrapolates on AI as well. It should not cause harm. The TRAI, which is the Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, they have, as late as July of 2003, stated that they will have a regulatory authority called Artificial Intelligence and Data Authority of India. So this authority will be a sort of overarching body, which like say SEBI in the securities space, or say TRAI in the telecom, etc. Sort of space will sort of give out regulations, will govern how AI will interact with our day-to-day operations, with how companies use AI, with how the government uses AI, how the data of individuals, of citizens will be used by and processed by AI as well. So in other countries, it's been a mixed bag. So in the EU, there has been some AI liability directive, AI Act. In the US, it's a little more fluid. They have been pretty open about sort of having soft laws and leaving the courts to opine on how AI has been interacting, how AI has been using the data itself. There have been a couple of judgments, and a lot of cases, in fact, are going on in the US. That's one jurisdiction where a lot has been happening, especially with respect to the ownership of any product that has been created by AI. But if the AI has trawled and used data sets and information which may have been copyrighted, etc. So those are still out there in the open. In some cases, in one specific case, the US court actually fined a law firm who had used AI to generate the filings, and the AI, for whatever reason, created a fake or unreal sort of case laws, etc. So what they clearly said is that the AI could be used, but just to assist you. But in the end, there has to be a gatekeeper before it goes, before a court of law. In fact, recently in the Delhi High Court as well, Justice Pratibha Singh, there was this case of infringement of the trademark of Christian Louboutin, which is a pretty famous French designer, and they make shoes which have red soles, etc. So someone else was copying them in New Delhi. So not going into the facts of the matter, the crux here was that the counsel for Christian Louboutin, they presented before the court certain averments based on ChatGPT. And so that was not acceptable to the court. They said, you counsel lawyers can use ChatGPT for research purposes, but they cannot present it before the court. The court will not accept any AI-generated material in the course of adjudication. So just a couple of these developments which have been happening. Coming to the ethical issues around that, the first one, of course, all of us know is bias. So that has been a biggest sort of bugbear, how to address that. And the government, sort of through the Niti Aayog, they have set out 7 principles which they've said that in any legislation or any way of sort of regulating AI, they will be following. One of them, of course, is how to reduce or how to minimize, maybe try to eliminate bias. The AI is only as good as the data it's being fed and how it sort of analyzes that. The other one is around accountability and responsibility. Well, who exactly is responsible in case the AI makes a decision, especially in case of healthcare or even in case of, say, law and order. One very ethical question that came about was during the riots that happened in New Delhi. The Delhi police used certain models to do facial recognition, and there were concerns around what kind of data the AI engine had been fed, and whether that itself had created a bias in the AI system in just picking out people who were of certain facial characteristic as opposed to the other broader set. So that's a very, very cause of concern from the ethical sort of point of view. Transparency is the other one. Anything that affects the citizens has to have a very strong basis to stand upon. There has to be transparency in case if it goes before a court of law, in case if any decision of any regulatory authority of law and order sort of enforcement, etc., is questioned. There has to be a basis which can be presented to the citizen and to any rights body or even to the court if that comes. It cannot be a black box where it just cannot be shown that how exactly this information was processed, how exactly this decision was reached. So transparency is again a very, very important sort of pillar, and Niti Aayog has also pushed for that as well. So these are the kind of things that I mean, there are multiple cases, not in India, to be very honest, but in the US, in Australia as well. In Australia, to touch upon the ownership bit, one of the federal courts surprisingly had given the ownership of a patent to an AI engine. But this was reversed by the High Court in 2022, and so globally, this position is still that AI cannot be be an inventor on record. It's always because the buck has to stop somewhere. You cannot just say that hey, this is the AI engine, someone prepared it, and the decisions taken thereupon, etc. are it's because in the end, it's not really an entity against whom you can proceed against in a court of law to or to find them or to take any action again. So it has to be the creator who has to be sort of be responsible in the end. So that's in a very brief nutshell about how sort of AI has been evolving, how the courts have been taking some I'd say positive view around that, and these ethical issues luckily have been expressed by a lot of think tank and organizations like Niti Aayog and globally as well, and they are being taken into consideration in formulating proper rules, laws, guidelines, and we hope that and the way AI has been sort of expanding, sort of it's literally like a virus. It's gone through the roof. In fact, there was one small data point which said that by 2026, about 90% of the content on the internet will be AI generated. So I mean, it's going to cover the entire globe, all the content that we consume, how we are influenced, etc. So there has to be proper regulation around that, which is being worked upon as in India, at least as the ministers Rajiv Chandrasekhar this week mentioned, and we hope that this will be moving much faster than say other legislations in other areas of the law. So with that, I'll just sort of
96%.
That's the
scary.
Yeah,
very scary. Okay. So our concluding speaker now is Sameer Dhangarjani, author of a number of books on analytics of AI. He also organizes some of the top conferences on AI in India. I attended one of them a couple of months back. He's going to end by telling a little bit about how exactly we actually make this happen. What should an AI stack be all about, and various other issues. Sameer.
Well, thanks, Madan, for inviting me. I think
the camera.
I was listening through all these, I would say, aspects about how problem solving at scale is now being done with AI. And I would rather say it's a tip of the iceberg. And I treat AI, analytics, Gen AI in the same continuum, because that depends on the maturity of the startup or enterprises, what they're dealing with. Now, there are three dimensions I want to talk about. I do a lot of these workshops and masterclasses for CXOs, boards, and senior leaders. So specifically, the first dimension about how today boards, senior leaders, or what I call CXOs are looking at AI. One, the sheer lack of evangelization of AI gives a lot of inadequate aspects about what I call the not so good side of AI. Because the fact over there is that if you look from the lens of the CXOs or the boards, the biggest thing which AI will do in the time to come would be change the decision-making process. And decision-making process today in corporates or enterprises is being done through what I call intuition, gut. This has happened in the past, so let's do it now as well. And there is a lot of hearsay around that, or even I would say a lot of influence. Now, with the advent of AI, which is nothing but spate of algorithms running across businesses, that decision-making process now will be enabled for the boards, for the CXOs, and even business leaders. Think of this, even some of the hedge funds in Hong Kong and US are now treating algorithms as a part of board members, taking decisions on the behalf of the boards or along with the board. So that's at, I would say, a very senior level I'm talking about, because one, yes, the organizations today, irrespective of their size and scale, even including, I would say, small and medium enterprises, would like to become, if not AI first, but AI powered enterprise. Now, the second thing, which is where the rubber hits the road in terms of adoption of analytics, AI, or Gen AI, and I'll come to the Gen AI piece towards the last. There are three things which are happening from the corporate or enterprise point of view in terms of consumption. One, the biggest consumption which is happening in this space, whether you are a B2C or a B2B company, is reimagining the customer experience, where AI is now producing bespoke, individual, very personalized product and services. I mean, I don't need to give examples. Look at how you consume not only information, but even the entire product buying on the Flipkart and Amazon is personalized for you. That's how the discount coupons or even the ads are actually crawling up. Second thing, which is AI is trying to do, is innovating at scale. I mean, how Tesla today comes out with a new model or a version of the car every 6 months versus a classic car manufacturer, which takes about 3 to 5 years. That's all at, I would say, at scale. The other thing, which is very, very profound and will be very, very, I would say, proliferated, will be transforming the businesses through AI. CFO function, or rather the finance, marketing, supply chain, operations, HR, they will all get disrupted with AI, because the value chains of these businesses or business functions, take talent acquisition, it's all enabled with AI. Take, let's say, supply chain, the make, buy, plan, and source part of supply chain is all AI enabled. Finance function, I would say the treasury, or let's say the accounting, is all being now led by AI. So there is a value chain, I would say, impact, where AI becomes much more, I would say, proliferated. And that's something which will be revolutionary. I mean, there is no common saying that the role of all the CXOs will change, because then they are dealing with a very different nuance compared to what exists today. The third piece is now, okay, everyone wants to use AI. What is that framework, method to madness, or what we call a clinical or a structured approach? And today, irrespective of the enterprises, they're all fraught with challenges, what we call business problems. And the fact over there is that as Gen AI will get more into the trenches, what we call rubber hits the road, it will be more of a problem solving at scale with three-dimensional framework. One is augmenting the intelligence, whichever way, and this is where startups will come in, whichever way you want to consume AI or Gen AI, you need to first look at how do you look at distinct set of data. And to the point what you rightly mentioned, today the biggest challenge is about the data, the right quality sets, or the what we say the optimal robustness of the data. And that's where organizations are struggling to find what they call data from, I would say, non-obvious sources. So the facial expression, or let's say, I mean, if someone is putting camera out here, is not to look at trespassing or infringement or what Madan is kind of looking over there. It's about maybe looking at each one of us to gauge how much attentiveness we have amongst us, and which session is fetching more, I would say, optics or more resonance kind of. So that is something what we call augmenting the intelligence, problem solving at scale. A lot of startups will come into that. Second is the biggest rhetoric, automation. Now, the fact over there is that take any revolution, agriculture, industrial, software, and now it's AI, the core nature of the job gets elevated. Now, there is a lot of rhetoric around, okay, the radiologist will lose their job, or let's say the pharmacist or a chemist will lose their job, because the images, whether it's MRI, X-rays, CT scans, have been done through, let's say, the companies like Cure.ai, Neramai, Zebra kind of thing. Yes, the fact of it there is that it's a big disruption, because a radiologist take 15 minutes with a machine taking with an accuracy of 98% in flat few milliseconds, and the accuracy rate is pretty high, and FDS is also giving approval. But think of this as a part of rumination. What's the job of a radiologist? Is it to kind of really look at the X-ray, CT scan? No. The core job of a radiologist is to counsel the well-being of the patient. I've never seen a radiologist talking to you, how exactly are you feeling? This is what AI will do. That will bring the what we say the core nature of the jobs up in front, which is what we call the second piece of problem solving at scale, which is about automate and learn. Now, the third piece, which is often neglected, and that's the last part of my narration, is you've got AI, which is nothing but a set of patterns, codes. It's a black box. For the naysayers, it's always a question, okay, you implement AI at scale, how does the adoption looks like? And adoption is a big challenge. You can create tons of algorithms through Gen AI, which we call it through self-ensemble learning techniques. How does the adoption happen? Adoption is where what we call the behavioral science, the cognitive neuroscience, design thinking, UI, UX comes into the picture. And this is where organizations, startups are now trying to merge the whole aspect, how you drive more adoption of AI. And if you take these three components, which is augment the intelligence, automate and learn, and incorporate human behavior, you've got all of these three facets where startups today are trying to create new product, platform, and services to give AI a very, very different dimension. So I just want to take that, I would say, larger canvas to give those impressions about how AI has been consumed.
Fantastic, Sam. Thanks for stitching together all the different pieces so eloquently, the opportunity, the challenges, startups, companies, the ecosystem, etc. Since this is Global Knowledge Management Week, I thought it's fitting to end with a speaker from overseas. I want to invite now Mahima Kim, a very unusual name because Mahima could almost sound like an Indian name, but I believe she's from Korea. She's in Seoul right now. Mahima Kim is the head of the Unicorn Global Accelerator, and they bring Korean startups from Korea to India. So let's hear a bit about how your company is building bridges between Korea and India. Mahima, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me to this good event today. And firstly, I want to introduce about myself and what I do with my company, Unicorn Incubator. As he introduced about my company is a startup accelerating company. We are only focusing on India and Korean market. So under my company, we run two kind of accelerating program we run. One is the India Launchpad. It's only for Korean startup company which are intention to run entry India market actually. So last Saturday, I back to Korea from India for 2 weeks business trip with 7 Korean startup company, and half of them their business item is based on artificial intelligence. Especially, they are focusing on specific industry. One is Delta X. They have an in-cabin monitoring system based on artificial intelligence for EV. And the other one is also they are using artificial intelligence, and they're using this technology for skin scanning. For maybe from now on, all women can use various cosmetic product in their house, because the tool can make that. Every in the morning when they wake up, they can use their service and then check their skin condition and choice which product is suitable for their skin. And several other startup company also, they are focusing on artificial intelligence and then focusing on specific industry. So the other my program is Korea Launchpad. It's for only India startup companies. Because as I mentioned to you, I'm on startup accelerator, which means I'm a investor. Always I'm looking for early stage startup companies to invest in there. Actually, today when I get an invitation of this event, I was expecting to meet some great Indian technical startup companies. I hoped, but unfortunately, before some time I had some other meetings, so I was joined this meeting lately. So I think I missed some pitching session about them. But anyway, hopefully I could connect with anyone who can introduce good foreign startup company which we can invest in, or which anyone wanna technology exchange with Korean startup. for digital transformation or invest in Korean startup company, I'm very willing to connect with them. And I already shared my LinkedIn profile on this chat. And then maybe already we are learning a little over today's event I heard. So I have many things to introduce, explaining, wanna talk and discuss with you all. But today I think it's enough for you. So hopefully I can get a more time or a chance to discuss and meet in person with you someday, one day. Thank you.
Sure, Mahima, thanks so much. I've just pasted a link in the chat window. All the pitch decks of the startups that we heard today are online. So even though you missed the pitches, you can see what they talk about. In fact, on our website, we've got pitch decks of almost 125 Indian startups. So we'd love to bring them all to Korea. In fact, we can organize for you a special event only for Korea-India collaboration in this whole field of knowledge economy and startups. So we can certainly talk about that and do a full session on Korea and innovation. Thank you so much.
Great.
So,
thank you.
Thank you so much for ending this event on a beautiful note. With that, we come to the end of our Global Knowledge Management Week initiative from Bangalore, from MXR.World and the Bangalore K community. So for those online, we're going to sign off online, but we're going to carry on the party over here. This is India, so we have tea, coffee, and some snacks outside. We're going to have a group photo and some networking outside. So those of you joining online, thanks so much. We'll be in touch with you for the next events, etc., on our website, as my colleague Manasi said. Thanks to my colleague Sai, who's been an anchor for hosting all this together, and we're going to do networking among ourselves over here. So thank you all. Have a great global knowledge management group. Take care. Thanks for joining us. Bye.